Yo, this is Johnny Yukon, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Johnny, what's up, man? Congratulations with the new single Keys. I feel like the creative process of this single was very therapeutic for you. I feel like everything that you're talking about in this track was literally a release for you. Can you tell me a little bit about how different it was to kind of go into the writing session or into the studio to create Keys compared to your previous material?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Definitely was therapeutic. Yeah, I mean, I think that, opening kind of synth sound that you hear, I had brought into the studio with Burns, who I collaborated with a lot for that song and a lot of the other songs that'll be coming out. And yeah, I really feel like he kind of challenged me to kind of write from a real story because we're homies, so we're always talking about things that are going on, things that are stressing us out, whatever. So yeah, it was. I feel like in the past, I've definitely written. I'm always writing from a place that of like real emotion and things I've been through, but I feel like I can hold back a little. So it was really cool to be able to write kind of pieces of like a very real story and things I definitely am guilty like kind of felt guilty for. But yeah, it was definitely therapeutic.
Did you come into the session like knowing you were writing Keys, or was it something that your mind and like body was basically just trying to kind of release it out of you?
Yeah, I think more of like the second thing there. It was kind of in the moment. I'm not, I'll jot things down sometimes, but I'm much more of a kind of in the moment writer. I feel like being a writer before too, I've come into sessions before and people have like hundreds of concept ideas or like buzzwords, and I kind of like let the music bring out what I want to talk about. So it really came out all in that day, and all the lyrics in it were done that day. Um, and honestly, the first thing I said was I want to dive in the ocean, which is like obviously the part in the hook.
Yeah.
I was just recording kind of like melody ideas, and that came out. And yeah, kind of like that was like, oh wow, that's like 100% the emotion I was feeling, and kind of the escape of it, and not in like a dark way, just kind of like um, the isolation of it, and going diving underwater where I can kind of be alone, and yeah.
You mentioned that you've been working with Borns a few times before. So like, or Burns, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So would you say that throughout each process that you work with him, would you say that he finds a new way to kind of help you step out of that comfort zone?
definitely 100%. Yeah, I think this is like just the first of many songs that we have ready to go. And yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff both sonically and lyrically that people have not heard from me. And I don't know if I would have gone to that place if it wasn't for him. So definitely super grateful to have him as a friend and collaborator. And yeah, he was always trying to challenge me to whether it's a different type of production or lyrically or what we're talking about, and trying to kind of be a little more transparent.
Now, vocally with this track, would you say that you came into once this song was written, you came in knowing, how you wanted your delivery to be, or was that something that Burns was kind of bringing in and having you test the waters with?
Yeah, um I think a little bit of both. Like the way I was singing it on like the phone recording was a bit more of like free. And then once we started cutting it, I feel like I kind of went back to my more softer kind of tone. And he was like, nah, dude, you gotta go for it. So even like the slight vibrato in the voice and things like that was 100% him kind of like, challenging me to do that. Um, yeah, we just, we spent so many hours together making music. So I'm super comfortable with him, like to even explore different ways of using my voice. I feel like when I'm working with someone new or we've only worked a couple times, I can be a little not shy, but I guess so, a little like um, hesitant.
The vibrato is one of my favorite moments in the song because it allows me to actually feel your pain.
Yeah.
Um, in during that recording process of that that portion of the song, was that something that it was like that you had to do that first take, or did you find yourself trying to to do multiple takes before you got to the one that we listened to today?
So I think I really got the vibrato on the first line, like the I want to dive in the ocean. I think like that was there right away. And then the following lines that were in that same melody, I kind of backed off the vibrato. And then so we actually I remember it taking some time to like match the emotion that was in the I want to dive in the ocean line to the other ones. Yeah, we probably took longer than we should have on that, but I am really happy with how it came out, and it needed to match the emotion of what I kind of caught both on the phone recording and the first line of like I want to dive in the ocean. So yeah, it was a little bit of a process.
Now, you said there's more music that the two of you have been working on. Would you say that this song Keys in particularly uh, kind of set the stage or the tone for this upcoming new material?
Definitely. Yeah, I think it definitely set the tone. There's nothing that quite sounds like that one. And I feel like there's a bunch of different um, kind of sonics going on in this next wave of music, which I'm excited for. And, a little anxious because there's some things that I don't think anyone's heard from me yet. And I think Keys was a little different than things people have heard from me, but still incorporated parts of me people like my fans are used to. But no, I'm really excited. I think like it's kind of a whole new era for me. So um there's a song called Celebration that I'm really excited about that I think is almost like a little slower version of Keys, but production's like super kind of dark and moody and haunting. So I'm excited for people to hear that one. And but then there's some songs with more like kind of indie drums and some guitar, which I've never had guitar in my music, but yeah, just gotta wait and see.
How do these new productions, especially bringing an instrument that you haven't been using, like the guitar,
Yeah.
how has that like impacted the way that you sing and the vocal ranges that you'll be, giving us in this new material?
Yeah, I think I definitely played with my voice a little more than in the past. Both me playing with my voice and playing with like kind of the effects we're putting on it and different reverbs and things like that. So I think I've always been a little like afraid to use my versatility. But I feel like I'm finally kind of stepping into a place where I'm like, oh no, this is a advantage, or like this is a positive to kind of use my versatility. So, I've been inspired by so much different music my whole life. And I still think I have my voice, and I think my voice kind of shines through it all, and there's a consistency, but I think people will hear like different types of voices from me, which I think is exciting.
Now, in the past, you've been able to write for other artists as well. So those
Yeah.
experiences, how would you say that those experiences helped you kind of learn who you are as an artist and kind of find your voice?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I think it's been a journey for me to find my voice. Like coming out to LA to be a writer, you could put on whatever the phrase is. You're basically a chameleon. Like one day I'm writing like you know, a hook for Young Thug, and then the next day like something for Camila Cabello, or like, you know, what, so many different types of songs I've done. Um, but I've definitely written so many songs that I've kind of learned what cuts through and what artists connect to. So yeah, I think I just the experience of writing songs has helped me find out like what I like. And honestly, I think it's still an ongoing journey finding my like my artist voice.
Yeah.
So you know, even the stuff, even the music that's ready to go, I'm excited about. But even like the past few months of the beginning of this year, like I've been working on even newer music, and I feel like I'm even getting even more excited about that. So it's just like this ongoing like discovery that maybe will never end. But yeah, I think all the experiences have helped me a lot.
Would you say it's harder for you to write for other artists, or it's harder for you to write for your own material?
That's another great question. I think it's like I think it's harder to write for myself. Um, I think like especially lyrically. Um, I think for other artists you can kind of just um, you know, you don't have to reach into like the depths of like what you've been through as much. I mean, you can write things that relate to what you've been through, but you know, you're constantly thinking about what this artist is going through. So um, yeah, I think like I feel way more what's the word? So, I guess reward. Like when I write a song for me that I love, it is so much more gratifying. Um, but I do think it's a little harder for me.
How were you able to kind of create your own lane and stay in your own lane when you're, you know, working for so many different other artists from different genres? Because I feel like if you're constantly writing like this for these people, like I feel like it might be easy to start writing in their kind of styles or sounds. So how are you able to kind of keep your own lane during this process?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's taken a lot of like decision making. Like, I mean, I make so many songs, but I've always been very intentional about what I feel like should come out as me, because, and I probably overthink it maybe too far sometimes. You know, there's some people that are like, just put out everything, but it is important for me to kind of carve out my own lane, and I think, you know, when people hear a song, it's like, oh yeah, that's a Johnny Yukon song. Like, not like, oh, that could kind of be anyone's song. And it's a challenge. I mean, it's you know, I have this conversation a lot kind of about coming from being a writer. Um, you know, I know how to write for anybody. So but yeah, I've just been very intentional about what comes out, like what actually gets released, and what I don't know. It's kind of just a gut feeling of what feels like me when I'm either making it or when I come back to a song or whatever. Yeah, it's all about like, oh yeah, I like this. Like I would listen to this. Like I'm always trying to put together things that I would want to drive around to and listen to. Um, Whereas like when I'm writing for other artists, I don't necessarily love every like every song, uh, which is maybe bad to say, but like yeah, I think you get it.
Lastly, I guess to close this off, like going back to keys, like what would you say was the biggest challenge in order to either like write, produce, or record keys?
It's a good question. I think honestly probably recording the vocals. um, Coming back to that, like that one strangely, and maybe it was because I was kind of telling a real story. Like lyrically, that one came very quickly, which isn't always the case
Mm.
for me. Sometimes it takes like days, or we have to come back 2 weeks later and finish lyrics or tweak lyrics. But those lyrics came together really quickly, and then I just remember took a couple days to like just get the vocal right. Cause, and I'm glad it seems like it's the emotions kind of cut through in it, but we were really trying to nail that. So, and I'm definitely a bit of a perfectionist. So yeah, that was a challenge. But I mean, everything else, like the beat, like really came together with Burns. We kind of, you know, co-produced it together, and we just had fun with that. We were just like making something that we really, really with. So it was fun. But yeah, I would say the vocal process was the most like definitely the most challenging.
That synth was perfect, by the way. I feel like it was it really like impacted the song and the storyline. So that was really cool that you guys added that.
Yeah, thank you. No, that's what started it all. That synth line. So we built it all around that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Well, congratulations with Keys, and definitely looking forward to hearing this new material that you're talking about. And I'm sure you and I are going to reconnect sometime soon. So thank you again for taking the time.
Yeah, no, I would love to. Thank you so much, Rob. Appreciate you.